Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Lions Den podcast. We're here on a Wednesday night instead of a Monday night football to talk about everything that happened in Leon's first leg of Sccl match and also the weekend match versus Tigres. So we definitely have lots to talk about in regarding that first leg and that jornada weekend match. So we're definitely here talk about tomorrow night's game, second leg, and also just previewing the next upcoming game for La Fiera. So thank you for everybody that joining us via Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Let us know what your thoughts and comments are. If you guys agree, disagree, have a different input, just keep the conversation going, and we'll definitely share those comments up on the screen. So but we have a special guest today joining us that we're greatly appreciated because we'll have a Seattle Sounder fan talk to us a little bit about her dreadful loss last week. So Todd, welcome to the pod. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Carlos, Louis, gentlemen, how are we feeling tonight?
Not so good.
You know, I told you, Cody, that this could end up being a really depressing episode. And that's kind of where we are right now. I don't know if there'd be a lower point in the Holland tenure so far. And right now, I think we've hit rock bottom. So yeah. I'm not feeling great, but I'm optimistic in that it can only go up from here, right?
Yeah, I think we've hit rock bottom, especially with all the news coming out over the past few days about Holland, some of the players. And then it's just two tough losses, man, that you know, they're just I don't know, I think they just hit the guys really hard mentally, and especially the coach. But we'll get into that. It's not a good time to be a Leon fan right now.
Definitely. I have a lot on my chest. So I can't wait. Louis, I can just sense Louis. Louis is usually like, you know, the spiritual vibe. You're slowly declining on me, Louis. I can't lose you right now, okay? You just have to.
Well, I've been one of the starkest figures of the Holland tenure, and to a certain point, I still am. In league play, we're still right there. We still have a chance to do things, and so I like the Directiva's decision not to accept his resignation. I think, I think it's difficult with Holland because he has such a history of staying very short periods of time with teams and putting in his resignation. And no, I think he needs to finish out the season. I think he's got us in a good enough place in league where it would be hasty to fire him. I know a lot of people will disagree with me. The Fuera Holland was heard loud and clear on Saturday, late afternoon at the Glorioso. But he had I will say this, he had my full confidence. He no longer has my full confidence, but I do think he needs to sleep in the bed that he made and finish out the season. And we still have a chance to, I mean, we're down, but not out in both competitions. We still have a chance, and all we can play is the game right in front of us. So yeah, that's where I am right now. So also so conflicted. I'm happy to have our man in Seattle, Todd, here, and I'll tell you, Todd, I support every Seattle team except for the Sounders. I'm a big Seahawks, Mariners, and I'm a big Seahawks fan, big Mariners fan, and even this season I started following the Kraken. Gotten into hockey. You know, those are sports we will likely never have at the major league level in Portland. So I feel perfectly fine supporting them. Those are teams I can go see their games in one day. Well, when I'm in Portland, I'm obviously not in Portland now, but when I'm in Portland, I can go and see a game in one day and come back. I consider them local teams. But obviously, when you've got the Portland Timbers, you cannot be a Sounders fan. So the Sounders are one of my, they're one of my arch nemesis in the sports world. I have to say that. And if the Supersonics ever came back to the NBA, they would be my nemesis too. But all the other, so I love your Seahawks poster there. I mean, I'm feeling your pain right now with the Russell Wilson trade. I'm sure I'm right there with you. And so if we were ever to have a podcast in a different context and talk about different topics, we'd have a lot in common. Just that today today it can't be that way.
No, I understand. I actually support the Blazers until the Sonics come back, so I feel the same.
I
so.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, and if we were ever to get Major League Baseball in Portland, as they have talked about so many times, I'd be in a hard place. I've supported the Mariners for so long now that it would be hard to switch allegiances. But yeah, when that day comes, we'll see. But yeah, no, the Sound it's so funny. I love all the other teams, and the Sounders are just I just can't.
See, I love the rivalry between the two teams. North American soccer rivalry. It doesn't happen very often, and it really is authentic. And I'm really glad it's happened in the Pacific Northwest, a place where most people wouldn't expect. But I will say I enjoy being the Timbers, but not for you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think one thing you and I can certainly agree on is that at least in Major League Soccer, there is no rivalry that comes anywhere close to the Timber Sounders rivalry, and few rivalries that come close. I mean, I'm a big Liga MX fan too, but having experienced that rivalry firsthand, I don't think I'm not sure there's a Clásico currently in Liga MX that even rivals that one.
That's a big statement. I mean. I've been to most every big match in Seattle, at least, of the Sounders and Timbers. Clint Dempsey red card winning when he ripped up the referee's book.
I remember the Open Cup. Yeah, we finished playing. I think we played against 8 in that game, and still got scored on. Yeah, I remember.
We were playing in a training facility, so it was like a high school 4,000 seat stadium. That was quite a scene.
I remember.
I'll never forget that. But yeah, there's been a lot of back and forth between Portland and Seattle.
Yeah.
See, there you
so
go.
It's
you
just
start your own podcast.
Yeah, if you start your podcast, Todd, and you ever want to have me on, we can talk some Timbers. I already talked some Timbers with the Club America guys when we squared off in CONCACAF in CCL last edition of CCL. So I'm always happy. I mostly talk Leon these days, but I'm happy to talk some Timbers too when given the opportunity.
Sounds great. I'll talk about Leon right now, but
yeah,
definitely. So let's go ahead and get into the CCL first leg. Carlos, are you ready with pregame news? Let's do it.
Pre-game news prior to leg 1. Omar Fernandez, Osvaldo Rodriguez were out with injuries. Santiago Ormeño was also out after testing positive for COVID. Didn't matter. None of those guys mattered. We maybe could have used Osvaldo and Omar Fernandez, but it didn't matter. None of this matters. Let's just move on to the starting lineup because I want to try to get through this as fast as possible.
Your face, Carlos. The pain in your face.
Yeah. So Cota we had in on goal. Avion, Mosquera, Barreiro, Tecillo. Great back line. I was feeling very confident. They let us down. Fidel Ambris, Jefecito, Mena, Luis Montes, who's not playing tomorrow, and Meneses, who's also doubtful for tomorrow, and Victor Davila up top. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was a pretty strong starting 11. I don't know. Let's just get into it. What do you guys think?
That's a starting 11 that should be more than enough to get a solid result anywhere. Especially on this stage that, I don't know what this team's deal is in this competition. I think that the more it gets talked about that they can't get past MLS opposition in this competition, the more it gets in their heads. Like, should have been a lineup that I'm not going to say they should have won easily, but considering Seattle's 2 previous matches in league play, not good. Much to my delight with their slow start to the MLS league season, and missing undoubtedly their 2 best players. This should have been this should have been better. There's no excuse for this to have happened the way it did. That lineup, yeah, we were missing a few key pieces, but that lineup should have been good enough to go up there and at least come out with a scoring draw, something along those lines. It was a complete disaster. It was a complete disaster.
You all probably saw my tweets before the match. I predicted Leon to just run away with it with the injuries the Sounders had with Rui Diaz and Ladero not playing. I thought we didn't have much of a shot, and then I was completely wrong, happily. So, what do you all think happened? Overconfidence? What was it?
I think it got into their head. I think they looked like deer in headlights. Like this is the first time they were playing. I think Leon started off good with possession and dominating. I just think when we got counterattack, it was just like, oh, what do we do? Like it was just ridiculous to me. Like it was just ridiculous. Like it was just like, what are we doing? And it feels like obviously the first round that we had with Guastatoya, I mean, eso no sirvió de nada. Like, you know what I mean? Like this was a reality check. And to me, it's like, I don't know if it's something mentally. I don't know if they just, I don't know. Like it just really pissed me off. It was really, I was like gonna turn it off because I was like, I can't keep watching this. And I'm so glad, Louis, in a sense, you did not go and see that live.
I mean, I don't know. As connected and as tied as I feel to that region, the Pacific Northwest, that's where I'm from. That's home for me. It still would have been cool to see the first ever Leon Seattle. Maybe the first, could be the only one for a really long time. First ever Leon Seattle in Lumen Field with the Seahawks. That still would have been a cool thing to experience, but it would have been a long flight back to Mexico.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much. I'm not gonna go so far as to say I'm happy I missed it, because it would have been a piece of history either way. But man, that would have been a long flight back.
Yeah. Listen, I
don't know if we want to make excuses. I was gonna say, if we want to make excuses, it's been a long time. Actually, I don't think Leon has, like in true winter conditions, obviously Pacific Northwest winters, it's not like going to play in Canada and like Hamilton or something like that. It's not the same as that, but it's winter conditions. It's artificial turf. I mean, these are things that historically have not gone in our favor, but I really don't think that was it. I think, like Toddy was saying, it's just, there's a history of overconfidence and
yes.
the word we use here, sobrados. They always come out sobrados in the wrong moments. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe they thought that once they finally got out of the first round, at least, of the Conca Champions, then it would just be easy sailing from then on. And clearly that was not the right attitude.
Yeah, I think from the beginning, and I've been arguing with myself over the weekend about what happened, because I couldn't figure it out, but I mean, I came to some conclusion. And I think that we thought that Seattle was going to play us like they did in the Leagues Cup final, which is not how they came out and played us in this first leg. This first leg, they were very aggressive with their high pressuring, their defending. They were well structured throughout 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think Holland's biggest mistake was thinking that they were going to come out and play us like they did in Leagues Cup, and they didn't. Sounders coach actually did a great job at scouting us, and we did a bad job at scouting them. Yeah. And they played to our weaknesses, and we played to their strengths. So that was my conclusion at the end of the day.
These are two teams that had history, and Brian Schmetzer, he might look like more of like an accountant than a soccer coach, but he did his due diligence, and Holland did not.
Simple as that.
Yeah, simple as that. They have history. One team learned from that history. The other one just didn't seem to at all.
Yeah, and I think the moment that you knew that Holland was being outcoached was in the second half. At the start of the second half, when he just subbed in out everyone and subbed in everybody else.
Yeah.
It's like what are you doing? It's like it almost seemed like he was in a mode of panic,
Desperation.
right? Like a mode of desperation where he was like, "Oh, we're down 2-0. I got to sub everyone in, And I think that was the wrong move. I think we would have been okay if we had just stayed calm, stayed composed, and said, "Okay, let's just get one back. We'll be in okay shape if we just go back home 2-1. Doesn't matter if we don't win, but let's just get home in a good position." And he was a little greedy. He changed the top line. He changed all the attackers, all the wingers, and we got scored on. And I think that was one of the strategies where he was outcoached.
I will tell you guys, though, that when it kept staying at 2-0, I really was nervous. I really wanted that third, and Kota was just, I thought he actually played really well for giving up 3 goals. It doesn't really make a lot of sense unless you watch the match, but Seattle really had about 6 glorious chances.
Mm-hmm.
And that third right at the 90th, might make the difference. We'll see.
Yeah, it would have been. It could have been worse. It really could have. It could have been worse. I think back to what Carl was saying. I think Meneses and Mena were just so constricted on the wings the first half. Like no se vieron para nada. Like, so that's why I think Olan definitely was like, well, let me just go ahead and sub them off. And I mean, I really wish we could at least had a goal. But honestly, I didn't see where it was going to come from.
That handball by Roldan. I know he was offside. They ruled.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
But I thought I was holding my breath on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those nights where things like that, when things are already going so poorly, about as badly as they can go, those are the kind of calls that don't go your way. I mean, it was the same thing in our following league match against Tigres that I guess we'll have to talk about later too.
Yeah.
But like when it rains, it pours. When things are going your way, and when they're not.
Yeah, it was just a bad night overall. I don't even know what to say.
I was gonna say, what else can we say about this first? Like, I mean,
yeah, what else can we say? I mean, the one thing I can say is that away goal would have been huge for us because now they have a chance to score an away goal, and
then we're done.
If they score one, we're done. Like, that's how powerful this away goal rule is.
Yeah,
that is the feeling up here. I'm not sure. An MLS team going down to Mexico is always hard for the MLS team, so we'll see. But I just think that I don't think the Sounders will come out tomorrow night defensive. Smetry even said that today in his press conference. He's going to go out there, play smart, but he's not going to bunker down for 90 minutes. He said that would be foolish, and I agree with him. So I expect a wide open match. I think it's going to be pretty fun to watch. And I really think it's going to come down to maybe 1 to 2 goals. And I think it's going to be closer than what we may think.
I mean, yesterday's match between New York and Comunicaciones came down to the wire.
It did. And series like that are make me understand a little bit why they have eliminated the away goals rule, like in UEFA competitions, for example. Imagine winning 4-2 like in a game like that, with Comunicaciones in front of your home fans and still not going through.
Yeah,
like I can understand why. Like that was a series that should have gone to penalties, and it would have were it not for the away goals. I mean, in like fairness of the game, like lo justo would have been that series, as hard fought as it was and amazing as Comunicaciones played in front of their home fans, that should have gone to PKs. And so yeah, that away goals rule is it's a backbreaker, and I don't know, it's gonna be so hard. But I look at it this way. The only thing I can say is Seattle did their job in their home leg. Now it's our turn. That's all I can really say. We have to match what they did at least or more if we want to go through. And we have an opportunity to do so. I'm clinging to that.
Yeah. We have a good chance here to make a historic comeback, and we're gonna do it inside of a sold out stadium. Right, tomorrow's tickets are
Is
all
it sold out?
It's already
It is sold out.
So
It's completely sold out.
yeah, so if you were expecting, the weak entrances we've been having over the first
I was
few,
literally going to mention about that.
Yeah, no, it's sold out.
Yeah, I mean the way things have gone lately, the assumption would have been that the fans don't have any faith in this team, and they're not going to come out and support them. But the opposite is true. I mean, credit to El Presi. He came out with a promoción. First of all, season ticket holders wouldn't have normally gotten into this match for free, but it was added to our season ticket plan, and then each season ticket holder was given an additional free ticket for every seat that they have. So, I mean, he did the right thing with that, and all the players and everybody's been saying and saying the right things. I mean, all the players have been coming out on their social media, saying they believe in the remontada and all that good stuff. And it's hyping the people. I think it really hyped people up. It hyped the fans back up. Two just dreadful results in a week after a spell of really good play and an unbeaten streak for a long time. We kind of just crashed and burned and fell back down to earth in 1 week. But they've been doing what they can to amp the fan base up for this, and I don't know. We'll see if it makes a difference.
See, that was my question. I've been tracking your team for a while now, and it seemed like they were playing well up until these last two matches. Besides just being overconfident, are there tactics? What's really going on?
Well, playing very well in terms of results, but there are a lot of folks who aren't happy with that and aren't pleased with that. They want to get the results in the right way, and have considered that the way we've been getting them is not the right way. Getting up early on a cheap goal and bunkering, well, not bunkering, but playing to protect the lead more than to extend it. And that's just not what Leon at its best has not been known for playing in that style. Yeah. So a lot of fans are not contentos with the formas, as we would say.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's been a lot of 1-0s and a couple of 2-1s, and I mean that's the hardest thing. We need to score at least 3 tomorrow to even force PKs, and we haven't scored 3 since
a while.
Since leg 1 of the final against Atlas in Liga MX the last season. That was the last time we scored 3. It's been 10 jornadas now, and we have yet to score 3 goals in the game one time.
Yeah. And Atlas had the best defense that year, and it was difficult to score against them.
Yeah. But I mean, this would be a good moment to be the first time to score 3 in 2022.
Yeah.
Or how about 4?
Or 4. Well, we need 3 to send it to PKs,
we need
right?
3 to force penalties, and we can go through on a 4-0. If we let one in, it has to be at least 5-1.
Yeah.
Which is not that realistic.
Yeah.
We dug ourselves into a very deep hole.
Very, very deep hole. So I'm going to say, let's go ahead and go into Liga MX, and then we'll come back to preview about tomorrow night's game. So let's talk about another game. Carlos, do you have that pregame ready?
I do. Let's go through that one.
Let's go.
First of all, Santiago Ormeño received a call up to the Peruvian national team. Despite how he's been playing, he hasn't been able to score with us. He will be traveling for the FIFA qualifiers.
More of a testament to the lack of depth in the Peruvian squad than anything else.
Exactly. Yeah. And then we had a couple of injuries that were reported last minute, which I don't know, seems kind of weird to me, but Luis Montes and Jan Meneses were both ruled out for Saturday's game against Tigres. Again, very last minute. It was reported that they had practiced perfectly fine the day before, and they were ruled out for the game due to injury. And it could be possible that they're not going to make the match day roster for tomorrow as well. Thoughts, conspiracies?
Conspiracy?
Now, yeah, I don't know what to make of this. It's not like my beloved Blazers who are actively tanking, and that's why all their players are sitting out. Leon is not actively tanking. I don't know. They have no reason to sit healthy players unless like these healthy players just they don't want to go for this manager. I don't know. I mean, you can say, I'm sure that's the conspiracy theory, the first one that's going to come to everybody's mind.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Maybe they just have some molestia as it happens.
Yeah,
I think
maybe they do.
Give Chapito a benefit of the doubt because his grandmother did pass away. So they're announcing before that matchup in the minute of silence, junto a Tomas Boy, that Chapito's grandma had passed away. So I give him that. The Meneses thing, I don't know. Like Louis said, maybe it is, and he's not feeling too well. Maybe he's trying to save up his energy for tomorrow. I think we'll definitely. But then is he available already? Yes, salió la convocatoria for tomorrow.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Okay. Well, I guess
according to Cheque Gasca, Meneses, Montes, and Barreiro are out for tomorrow.
Barreiro too.
Yeah, what happened? What happened to Barreiro?
No idea. I don't know if it was reported or if I just missed it. But according to Cheque, he's also out.
I will say he had a pretty dreadful match against Seattle. But his match against Tigres, I thought he was one of the very, 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 very few bright spots.
Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of people jumping off the ship, guys. It's kind of scary right now, but I guess we'll have to use what we got, which is still pretty good. I mean, if you look at tomorrow's potential starting 11, it's still pretty good.
It should be good enough to at least give us a chance.
Yeah, good enough to give us a chance.
I mean, Davila and Mena. Hopefully, Mena is fully match fit and ready to give his best because it hasn't been there yet.
Yeah.
And
starting 11 for Saturday's match against Tigres, we had Cota, Mosque, Gary making a rare start. Barreiro,
and not having a great game.
Exactly.
I mean, people want to blame Cota for the errors on the 2 goals, but I feel like one of those was pretty highly on Gary.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if he's not in rhythm or he just hasn't gotten the hang of playing in Liga MX, but we kind of just threw him into the fire once he arrived. So maybe we can cut him some slack. Midfield, Jefecito Colombato, Fede Martinez, Angel Mena, Elias Hernandez, and Victor Davila. Again, a very competitive starting 11, and we couldn't put one away.
Well, Mena, we already know what happened in Mena early in that match. If he would have scored, could the game been different? Maybe.
I do feel like that was a turning point. Yes,
but like we like to say here, la vida nunca existe. So I think it was just terrible. And like I kept repeating, I am not, even though Cota has been saving us so many times, and I mentioned it earlier in another podcast about if we're just taking him for granted, taking his awesome performance game by game for granted. And I think, we got to his limit, and I am not even mad. That game could have been 7-0, and they all could have been Cota's fault, and I would have been perfectly fine. That's just my. I didn't know what to say. Like I wasn't even mad. I'm like, I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad.
You gave him two free passes.
I was, because we're not a sotanero, Cari. These points still matter. We still have a chance to do something in league play. So like I could not get to that. I admire you for being able to get to that point and just being zen about it. But I was not there.
I know, but the thing is, it's like, what was the reaction of the players? What was the reaction? There was no like creativity in the last attacking third. It was just like you just came off of a freaking loss versus Seattle. You think you'd be bouncing back against Tigres, which against Tigres are tough matches.
Yes.
And we're at home, And you can't even, that just really irritated me. I felt more irritated, but, seeing Kota make errors, that's the thing I told you. I'm not even mad. Like I said,
Yeah.
all the goals could have been Kota's fault. He could have came out wrong. I don't care. If all of them were like that, I am not mad. It's finally, because what is the opposition doing? Like you guys said, look at starting 11. Look, we have great players. Like, I don't understand what's happening. Like, are we just mentally just on the floor about, that we can like quickly bounce back and like, you know what? We didn't do well in CCL. Let's bounce back at home, feel confident again, at least get a 2-1. I'm not even saying get a goleada against Tigres, like a 2-1, Nada.
Well, and it looked like it was headed that way the first few minutes. Leon was much more the aggressor, had a couple of good chances, got the PK, which, for the record, I believe Mena should have let Davila take, considering how important it was and the form that he's on. And I think Davila should have taken that PK, and that would have changed the whole outlook of the game. I don't know if you guys remember back to the last time we played Tigres in regular season. Also, a missed PK by Mena in that one changed the whole course of the game. And it did this time too.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't rely on that. That's what I'm saying either. Like, el hubiera no que existe. We can't rely on that. It could have been, it could have, el hubiera no que existe. Like, we can't really depend on that. Like, oh, Mena missed a penalty. We just played wrong the whole game. No, that shouldn't be an excuse. That's a petty excuse.
No, I know. I just thought it was interesting how history kind of repeated itself against Tigres.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We'll beat them again in Liguilla.
In the final. No, I don't know what to say about this Saturday match, because I mean there's a lot of things going on. First, that CCL loss, that's a pretty bad loss. And Israel Romo said it on TUDN. He said it was really hurting these guys. These guys were all really like depressed and down. Their spirits were not high in the locker room after that match. So that could have contributed to it. Also, I think Ariel Holland, I hate to say it, but he might be losing the locker room with players sitting out. And, I don't know if the players believe in his coaching style anymore. I don't know if they're believing in him anymore. And that may be why he decided to submit his resignation. But yeah, I mean, there could be deeper issues to what's happening that we're not seeing and that we're not hearing about. But all I know is that something's wrong, and it's obviously being reflected in the scoreboard.
Moment of silence for the
Moment
loss.
of silence.
I mean, it's a little draining going through the going around and around and around again, talking about these two matches. It's emotionally draining. What can I say?
Yeah,
this is a low point. This is the low point of the season by far.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, we're actually not doing terrible in Liga MX in league play.
No,
we're in seventh place.
It's just the week.
It's just one bad week, and I mean, if you add on top of that the fact that Ariel Holland was attempting to resign, I mean, that tells you that there's something wrong here, that he's not right, or the players aren't right, or there's something terribly wrong, but I mean, the season's not lost.
In league, it might be too late for Conca Champions. Tomorrow we'll see. I'll be happy to be wrong. Really, really happy to be wrong. It might be too late for Conca Champions, but
yeah,
they're still. I mean, they were lower in the standings, actually later in the season than this point. One semester ago, shot all the way up to third at the end and made it to the final. So the Liga MX season is definitely not lost, and we have a pretty favorable schedule down the stretch. I mean, we theoretically the hardest games we'd have left, in a vacuum anyway, would be against America and Santos, but those teams are not doing well at all this season. And the rest of the matchups that we have are favorable. And Puebla.
That seems to be the toughest matchup.
Puebla is probably the toughest matchup, but it's at home. And so, yeah, aside from those three, the others are Now, I'm not going to take anything for granted in Mazatlan this coming weekend, especially depending on how tomorrow goes. If they expend a lot of energy to make it a game against Seattle, even if whether they win or lose, I mean that they might not have anything left for Mazatlan, even though Mazatlan is not good. We'll see. So we can't take anything for granted. There are no easy wins ever, but they still have a chance to rack up a lot of points and save their season in Liga MX play. Of that, I am certain.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and wrap up that loss because I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's go ahead and do a jornada rundown and then go ahead and preview tomorrow night's matchup. So jornada 10 started off on Friday. Necaxa beating Querétaro 1-0. If you guys missed any of the Liga MX matches, they have been doing a little bit different things in every game, but usually at minute 63, they all get together with the refs in the middle of the field, give a moment of silence for what happened in the game of Querétaro the past jornada. Also to mention, Tomas Boy did pass away, so they've been doing a lot of minute of silences every matchup. So it's a couple of things if you guys missed any of the games. So also that Necaxa Querétaro was played behind closed doors. So Necaxa won 1-0, definitely a good win for Jimmy Lozano. Juarez losing 2-1 to Atlas. I mean, Juarez has not been the most exciting. No. Especially last night's game, if you guys missed it. I stopped watching it. It was the Monterrey Juarez. I stopped watching it.
Yeah, I was watching it. They looked terrible.
I completely forgot about it. But I mean, all the goals came after a red card, so I take it with a grain of salt. Monterrey still is not good.
You know who's on fire though is Joel Campbell.
But Juarez is not that great either. So how long are they going to keep Tuca there? That's my question.
I don't think they'll fire him. They're never going to get another coach as high profile as he is, even if he's over the hill. Yeah, I don't think they'll fire him.
Monterrey beating Mazatlan 2-1. Also that Friday night. Our loss versus Tigres 3-0. Cruz Azul beating Pumas 2-1. Was an interesting game. A snooze fest of a Clásico. Chivas versus America with a red card. Pachuca beating Ambrices Toluca 3-0. It's no surprise, but Almada, I lost his name. Almada's Pachuca has been just zooming through the season.
And people in Toluca calling for Ambrices' job, just like hold on.
Let's trade. Let's do a coach trade.
No, I don't.
No, I'm good.
I don't want Ambrices back with this team.
Really?
No.
I was thinking to myself, like, a lot of the guys, I'd say 9 out of the 11 guys in our starting lineup played under Ambriz. Like, why are we doing so bad if these guys were playing magical like 2 or 3 seasons ago?
Carlos, we only like to remember the good moments. His last season here was not great. There was a lot of bad losses there. It really looked like kind of like Matosas' last season as well. Nobody wants to remember that one either. That one was not good. Like, these guys get to a point with the squads that they can't do anything more. I mean, I don't think Ambriz could do anything more with this squad at this point than Holland is doing.
But he has that 6 months in Spain. Come on.
Yeah, see how that went for him.
Los Larca boys losing to San Luis 2-1, which Tom gets to me. Why are they the Larca boys? Why can't they be the Larca men? I'm like, it doesn't ring the same to me. Anyways.
Well, because he's the Larcamon and they're the Larca boys.
Or what is it? They have another, what is it, nickname? It's like the Larcabús or something like that. I don't know. There's like too many nicknames for
El Camión.
El Arcamión, that's what it was.
There you go.
Now, Larcamón, I'd take Larcamón. I'm sure. I don't think he's. I mean, unless Puebla crashes and burns out of the quarterfinal again or something like that, maybe they would fire him. But I don't think they're planning on getting rid of him anytime soon. Even though a lot of teams want his services.
Definitely. and ending Santos with the 4-0 win at home versus Xolos. So definitely Santos is bouncing back. Now they're in a 11th, 12th position from being last. So they're getting up there.
I don't know. I don't know if they're bouncing back. Cholos aren't that great either.
I do enjoy watching Xolos. I just think Santos did what they needed to do that game. They took the opportunities and they got the goals. Very misleading scoreboard if you didn't watch the game, but it's kind of those games where they scored from 2 set pieces. I mean, it is what it is. And they had 2 opportunities created and they scored, and it was a 4-0. So
that team has always had very good set piece takers. At least in recent years. Very Definitely. Good.
Okay, so let's move on to tomorrow night. Sccl's second leg, as you guys heard earlier, if you guys missed it, or all the listeners, tomorrow is going to be sold out. Do we know if it's sold out to what capacity? Like full capacity or
full capacity?
There's no tickets left.
Right, but she's asking about how much of the stadium is allowed to be sold, and I believe it is 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, let's ask Todd. Todd, what is your possible lineup for tomorrow?
Oh, I think you're going to see much the same from last week. Now, Rui Diaz did travel with the team. I think he's going to be on the bench. If we can get 30 minutes out of him, that would be great in the second half. I don't think we're going to switch much from the first leg. I think you're still going to see the Obed Vargas teenager start. He played a pretty good game. I think it's we put out our best side that we could last week, and I think we're going to do the same tomorrow.
Guys, what are we thinking of a possible lineup tomorrow? If we don't have Montes, Barreiro, and who else did you say?
Osvi, Omar Fernandez.
Osvi, Omar is still out.
Omar Fernandez still out. And Jan Meneses is
questionable.
So.
Okay, so let's see. Are we saying Tecillo as left back?
No,
No, Tecillo's going to have to be center back with Andres Mosquera. And I'm going to put Villa as left back.
Okay.
Yeah, Oscar Villa.
I like that.
Oscar Villa. And then I'm going to put Avion on the right as a right back.
Avion has not been to my liking lately.
He has not, but we don't have anybody else at that position.
Tiburon, guys.
Tiburon. We might get to see him there, maybe to start.
Why do your eyes like that, Carlos? Give a man a chance.
Because we gotta score. We gotta score in the first half. COC, like we have to score in the first half.
In the first 15 minutes, Carlos, we have to score.
First 15 minutes. By the end of the first half, minimum 2-0. If we're gonna get back into this, if we go into the locker room 1-0, we still have a chance. But if it's still 0-0 at the half, might as well just throw in the towel.
I will say with the lead Seattle has, it does work well for Jordan Morris because Leon is going to have to throw everything up there. And I think Morris on the counter is going to be key.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, God, I can't stand Jordan Morris.
I don't like him.
I mean, Patty, I support USMNT, and I don't even like him.
Yeah.
What do we think? Colombato, Jefecito in the midfield?
Colombato hasn't looked good either, but we don't have any other options.
Yeah. I think he'll turn it around tomorrow.
Will he turn it around by tomorrow? Who knows?
Yeah.
So, Jefecito, Colombato.
Do we go Jefecito or do we go Fidel Ambris? Because he started Fidel Ambris in the first leg, to all of our surprise.
I would want to go with Jefecito.
More experience?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then we have
Mina. A little too high-headed the first leg.
Yeah. Then we have Mena, Elias, Davila, and Gian Meneses if he's ready to go, or Fede.
Which Fede to me starts well and then he gets frustrated and he just dies down. That's kind of the pattern I've been seeing with him.
Let's hope tomorrow's the game that he breaks that spell. Let's hope tomorrow he gets the first one in. And then he just goes Super Saiyan on everyone.
Okay, serious question now. Serious question now.
Okay.
And even Todd, be brutally honest, okay? Is it realistic that Leon va a remontar tomorrow?
I mean, is it realistic? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like what percentage would you put of like, you know what?
I mean, realistic in the sense that it can happen, sure, and has happened before, sure. Is that in that sense it's realistic?
What do you think tomorrow, Louis? Like,
is it likely? No. I mean, coming back from a 3-goal deficit anytime is never likely, but I mean, it has happened.
It has happened.
And I'm not gonna say that the resultado was engañoso in the first leg against Seattle. No, that was a deserved result. In fact, it should have been worse.
Yes.
But at the same time, I'm not going to say that Seattle Sounders are a better football team, better soccer team than León. They're not. I mean, if this were, I don't know, what's a better example? I don't know, like Barcelona versus I don't know, Benfica or something like that. Now, Benfica is a good club and everything, but not on the same level. Like, León is still a better team than Seattle Sounders when both rosters are playing to their full potential. So León just needs a breakout game. It probably won't be tomorrow, but it could be tomorrow. If they have a breakout game tomorrow, if everyone who goes out plays to something way closer to the fullest of their abilities than we've seen at any point in 2022, then yeah, there's a chance. There's a chance. This is not, we're not playing against Real Madrid.
There is a chance. It happens, blah, blah. But I'm saying you're going to go into the stadium tomorrow believing, because te la estás creyendo that tomorrow, like, do you believe it? Do you believe in León tomorrow? That's what I'm saying.
In your heart of hearts, do you believe it?
I feel like you're giving me two answers.
I'll get back to you 15 minutes in. That's the best I can do.
Yeah, you got to see like the first 5, maybe 10 minutes.
Even if they haven't scored in those first 15 minutes, but like the way they come out and play, like they'll know a lot more about what their chances are. Right now, I'm saying it's not likely, but it is probable. This is not Real Madrid we're going up against. This is Seattle Sounders. They're on our turf now. They did their job. It's time to do ours. That's the only way I can really – that's the best I can do going into it. Then, once the game gets going, we'll see what our chances really look like. If they score one in the first 5 minutes or something like that, game on,
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to say. This is where I'll leave it at.
Okay, Carlos, give me your answer now.
When we played LAFC – also, first leg, we were dominating. It should have been easily 4 or 5-0, but we only got a 2-0 against LAFC.
Mm-hmm.
The following week, we traveled to LA, and nobody expected that type of a game from them.
Yeah,
nobody. That kind of comeback from them. Even we were like deer caught in the headlights, like Gotti likes to use, and it was a dominant comeback that no one expected. So why can't it happen here? Sold out. You
believe it. You believe in la remontada tomorrow.
There's something in me that says it could happen. Yeah, but then I get back to my reality. Then I get back to my reality, and I go, yeah, you know what? I don't know if we're mentally there. The locker room seems to be broken. The coach wanted to resign. I don't know if the right atmosphere is there.
Okay.
But it will be a sold out match, and I know the crowd's going to be behind us, so it could happen. It could happen.
We need to be perfect. Like Davila gets a breakaway 1v1. Put that in. He can't shoot it straight into the keeper's chest like he has done so many times in the last few games. I don't want to hate on him because he's our top scorer and he's our really only consistent goal threat. But that's not going to fly under these circumstances. Same if Meneses plays, like he's got to find the right pass instead of taking an ill-advised shot. Like we can't have these kind of moments from our top guys under these conditions. They have to be cold, calculated, and on point. I mean, we can't. Any clear chances that we get, we're going to have to put away. That's pretty much how it is.
We have to play the perfect game. End of story.
I will say that as a Sounder fan, I have bad memories of going to Mexico and trying to get the only time Seattle ever defeated Mexican competition in this competition was 2013. So, I'm still nervous.
So what is Todd? What's your probability that Seattle will advance tomorrow? And you could be as honest as our feelings are not hurt. Our feelings have been hurt for a long time now.
I'll still say Seattle probability is 90%, but there's still that 10% that something could happen. My prediction. Are we into predictions yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
So I just think I am going to be nervous throughout the match. Let's put it that way.
So as being sold out tomorrow, do you think your team will feel the hostility? Like, do you think that will definitely play?
I think so. Normally when MLS team goes down there, that does happen. We get spooked. And I hope that does not happen. Now, Seattle is a championship side in MLS type side. And I think we can handle it. But I could see it going sideways as well. So,
Okay.
Okay. Do I believe in a remontada? I'm not feeling it. I'm not. I'm gonna go with Louis. Depends on the first 15 minutes.
It does, right?
It does, and I mean, you guys brought out a good point. I feel like, especially Olan trying to resign. What does that play? We have a lot of missing players for tomorrow. It's gonna be sold out. What part are they gonna? What part of the fans gonna play into? Animarlos and mentally, how strong is Leon at this point? Is it? Yeah, with Louis, as much as I give him, is it possible? Of course. I guess I need to wait tomorrow to see. I'm with you guys on that. For 15 minutes, lo voy a decir todo. If we have the heart, if we have the passion, if we have it, I'd be happy if I see something. If we still lose tomorrow, and if I see a change, for the past 2 games tomorrow, I'll take that with me at this point.
Listen, if we go down swinging, like Comunicaciones went down swinging against New York City, I'll be good. I'll be like, you know what? We lost to a great team, Seattle. They completely deserve to win after that first leg disaster. Let them take the win, but at least we played with heart. We played with grit, and we went down swinging.
Yeah. God don't be a laughing stock again. You know what I mean?
Just I know we don't like to remember that game in Los Angeles, but minute 27, minute 77, minute 79. I'm not going to give up until it's over. We can do the same thing they did to us, and it would be poetic. It would be very poetic.
Very poetic.
Yeah.
Like you guys said, we have to have the perfect match tomorrow. I mean, that's the best way you guys have put it. It has to be a perfect match tomorrow. Mentally, they just have to give it their all. Like Carlos said, if we come down swinging, we come down swinging,
Yeah.
Oh, anything else, guys, that we have to say regarding tomorrow's match? No?
I don't think so.
I think we got it all out there.
All out there, out of her chest. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's go into prediction time.
Prediction time!
Prediction time. So, second leg tomorrow night in El Glorioso, sold out. Louis, you will be attending?
Yeah, I'll be there. And then traveling to Mazatlan in the middle of the night.
Oh, you found a way to make your schedule work out.
Let's say that I did. Yeah.
Okay.
We don't want to get you in trouble.
Okay.
So it worked out. It worked out for Louis. Louis, let's start off with you. What is your prediction tomorrow night? Second leg in the dream of La Remontada in Sccl.
I got to do it. 3-0 Leon. Go to PKs, and I'll take my boy Rodolfo Cota over Stefan Fry, whose name I don't even like saying. But if my Timbers can beat him in at least one PK shoot, I think it was only once. Yeah, but if my Timbers can beat him in a PK shootout, then Leon can too. If the Timbers can beat him with Jeff Atinella in goal, then we can do it with Rodolfo Cota in goal.
Okay. So if that happens, Louis, if we win tomorrow, are we going to see a victory dance?
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't usually do them at the home games. I did, but for big moments, I can make an exception.
Okay.
It'll be a much more enjoyable, long bus ride to Mazatlan if we get the job done tomorrow. That's for sure.
Definitely. So let's go with Todd. What is your prediction tomorrow night?
So I've been thinking about this all day. I am going to go Leon 3-1.
Ooh.
But I think it could be 3-0 late, and I'm going to be really, really nervous. So I'm going to say Jordan Morris will score one for Seattle.
Oh, that'd be awful. Anyone but him.
But,
Rui Diaz, we're used to. When he played for Morelia, he always scored on us.
Sure. If he's healthy, he can come in and make a difference too. But the point of it is, I think people should tune in because I think there's going to be fireworks.
Okay. So if I'm understanding, you're saying Seattle will win.
On aggregate, on the night, Leon, I think definitely will win. But on aggregate, yes, I see Seattle wins.
Okay. Expected nothing less, Todd. Carlos, your predictions.
Obviously, I'd never want to predict that our team's going to lose or that we're not going to go through. So I'm going to have to go with a 3-0 Leon win. We're going to send this to penalties. 88th minute goal by Fede Martinez. To send this into PKs, and just like Louis, I'm going with my man Rodolfo Cota to get a couple stops in those PKs, and the historic comeback will be complete.
Okay, so you guys are predicting penalties tomorrow.
Yeah, I see Todd shaking his head.
Todd, penalties? No?
I mean, it could be.
Okay, if we go to penalties, Todd, how confident are you feeling in your team?
Well, see,
you ended up with a coin flip, but still.
Yes. I remember Louis before the Leagues Cup final. He was saying Stefan Fry is just kind of a normal MLS goalkeeper. I think he's pretty good. I have confidence in him. We can win in PKs, but on the road, realistically, no. I would give the edge to Leon.
Okay.
Sweet. Gotti, give us your prediction.
It's my optimistic side. I don't know. My optimistic side's always, it's always very wanky. I'm gonna go 4-0. We're at home.
Ooh.
I mean,
that would save everybody a lot of stress. Not you, Todd, but it would save.
last minute 4-0.
Yes. I need an early goal. Early goal in the first 5 minutes, something, and then a goliza. I mean, like Louis, let's just do it. Let's do it. We have to. I mean, if we conceded 6 goals last week, the least we could do is score 4 or more.
Yeah.
See, I was trying to do a hand at the chest when I heard that. So if that happens, it'll probably be that way for me. But yeah.
I'm nervous now. I'm nervous.
They've been doing a good. I'm telling you, they've been doing a good job around these parts, hyping it up, and so it's gonna be emotional. It's not gonna be. I think in the first couple of days after that leg one, everybody around Club Leon was just kind of deflated. But they've done a good job. Everybody around has done a good job of hyping themselves back up for this. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. Those first 15, 20 minutes are going to be huge.
Yeah.
For both sides, not just for Leon. Like, if we can score in that first 15, 20, then we got ourselves a good game. If Seattle score, then I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know if I'll continue to watch the game. Let's put it that way.
Oh, you should. Come on. Believe in your team.
We've seen stranger things happen.
I don't know if it's in the Fort Leon, but I don't know. So I guess if Olan has already tried to put his resignation and declined it, if we lose tomorrow, are we gonna hear Fort Olan again or no?
Absolutely.
I think so.
And much louder because there'll be more people there.
I was gonna say that too with the sold out.
Yeah, but it'll have no effect because
yeah,
they already said they're sticking with.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
He's not going
At least not until his contract's up
in May. So
which is interesting because we didn't really get into it, but had he been fired, right, he would have continued to get paid by the team.
Right, which is why they don't want to fire him.
Exactly. but when a coach submits their resignation, they say, okay, cancel my I don't want to get paid anymore. I'm grabbing my bags and I'm taking off. Which is exactly what he did at Santos de Brazil. So it's now 2 resignations, 1 back to back. And so it makes you think, like, he comes from smaller leagues in South America, gets moved to Brazil, which is a big league there, gets moved to a bigger league in Mexico, and he resigns from both of those. Maybe because of the pressure, can't handle the pressure.
I think he caved into the pressure this time around with Leon. Especially, I think he caved into the pressure and he was like, let me try and just resign and give the people what they want. I feel like I think he caved in. He definitely caved in.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest reason I question as whether we want to have a guy like that at the helm of our squad. Nothing related to football, really. It's like that. Like, the guy just can't handle that pressure.
Yeah.
And that is probably his worst attribute. And then he's tentative and he's timid and he's fearful. Like, why every night he takes so long to make substitutions and then doesn't make the right ones.
Yeah, and I think what makes me nervous is just like Luis. It's just his presence on the sideline. It doesn't strive me as confident, as like aguerrido, as like it's just like very passive, very calm. But I'm like, dude, we're losing. Like, can you like have
something?
Yeah, like react to it. He doesn't react to it, not in a bad way like some other coaches have, but like, mentally, like that switch, I don't see it. So I get really frustrated because he looks like very like passive on the sideline. I'm over here screaming like, dude, it's minute 80. Are you gonna make a move or no?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least we know that his chances of coming back this next season are really, really low.
Low, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the front office is probably already looking for a replacement.
I mean,
well, as I said, he has 2 opportunities to save his job.
Yeah.
That is to get us further in Conca Champions, to pull off the miracle tomorrow. And either that or win the league. Those are his 2 options. If he does not do either of those things, I don't see a way that he's back next season.
Well, I mean, I would argue that he's still out, even if he wins.
If he wins the title, I don't think he's out.
I mean, I don't think
he's out if he wins the title.
I think he wants to leave I
Yeah.
don't think it's up to the front office.
I
They
think
can offer him an extension, but I think he
I see.
wants out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might be right.
Yeah.
I agree with that. If we win either or, I think he'll be like, let me just leave it at that. I win Leagues
My
Cup,
work is done.
either or. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with Carlos. Well. I guess we will see tomorrow's matchup. Todd, we want to thank you for joining us and talking a little bit about everything you know about Seattle to help us recap and preview. Good luck to your team tomorrow. I know you'll definitely be watching, and you'll probably be as nervous as we are tomorrow night. But hey, let the best person win. So, all the Seattle fans can definitely follow Todd. Todd, where can people follow you at?
I'm on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff at Todd_Couture, Couture, and I'll talk to anyone about sports. So thank you very much for having me.
Awesome. Thank you,
Thanks
Todd.
for coming, Todd.
Louis, good luck tomorrow at the stadium. I think I'm more nervous for you that you're gonna be living it.
Yeah, it's another compact schedule for me coming up. Got this one tomorrow, then Sunday in Mazatlan, and then the following Thursday, viaje super express for USA Mexico at Estadio Azteca. So it's a heavy schedule coming up.
Definitely. Well, guys, everybody that joined us via Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, thank you. I forgot to say, Louis, your mom had said, I'm really glad we didn't go to the game in Seattle. Talking about the first part of the show. But thank you everybody that joined us via Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget tomorrow night's matchup. If by any means you cannot watch the match, don't forget to follow Club Leon EN to keep you updated with live updates of the game, goals, anything during the game will be posted there if you guys are missing it for any reasons. But please try and watch that game. Hopefully, we'll be back next week with the Victory Monday about everything that happened in the second leg of Sccl and the result and what happened in the jornada weekend. So thank you so much, everybody that joined us. And we'll see you guys on another episode of the Lions Den podcast.